I don't know who else will be joining us, and they can come in later if they want. And I'm sorry, your name is not coming up.
I'm Ruth.
Ruth. Okay, I was going to guess Ruth.
I logged into the wrong email.
That's fine. Why. That's fine. But one thing I really like about doing a Zoom class as opposed to a face-to-face class is everybody's name is on their picture. I don't have to ask them what their name is, except when you use a different email account, then I have to ask. Okay, so Bobby mentioned that she feels like she's behind, but there really is no behind in a cyber class or a virtual class. They're really more set up so that you can work at your own pace and do things on a schedule that makes sense to you and fits in with the rest of your life and the rest of your stitching. So you're not really behind. And the lessons and the videos and everything else will remain available to you when you're ready to review them again. So, don't worry about, oh, I'm behind. You're stitching at a pace that's comfortable for you, and that's fine. That's all you have to do. So hi Annette, does anybody have any questions about the project so far? Anything I could help you with? No, everybody's doing okay? Bobby, do you have your project handy? We could look at your progress.
I have to admit the Jessicas are killing me, but other than that, I'm good.
Oh, they're killing you. Why is that, Ruth?
I don't know why, but it's always, I don't think I get the first part, and then when I guess I change the page, something happens and I don't do it right. So I know I'm going to have to go back and redo it, but I've been doing some other stuff and then I'm going to go back to that.
Okay. Oh, Bobby, that's so pretty. I love those colors. You're doing a great job. It looks gorgeous.
Looks great.
Yeah, really pretty. Ruth, is there anything that you can think of that I could help you with?
Well, I did have one question.
Sure.
Yeah. Because in the book, it showed with the Jessicas that you have the little pieces that come off or around the middle. There were like 7 or 8 little strips.
Mm-hmm.
And in one picture, it looks like they're underneath the big Jessica. And then the other picture, it looks like they're on top of the big Jessica. Okay. So I wondered, which way is it supposed to be?
They are, okay, is it a diagram or a photograph? Or if you could tell me what page it's on.
That'll probably help, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And I managed to sit down without my book, so let me go grab it.
Okay. So on page like 13 and 14, it's, well, let me go back more. Page 12, they're regular diagonal satin stitches.
Okay.
So based on this, it's supposed to be underneath. But when I was looking at one of the pictures.
Yeah, the very large Jessica, the ends of it are going to cover up the diagonal satin stitch ends.
Okay. Because with this picture, it was, it looked more like those diagonal ones that go over it. So I just wanted to check.
Yeah, that's, I use 2 different programs. One that I use for doing the main diagram. And for some reason, it wants to put certain color lines on top of other color lines. So that's the main chart. But my diagramming software, the lines stay where I put them, as opposed to, as opposed to jumping around. Because I can assure you that I drew the very large Jessica on top of the diagonal satin stitches, but it flipped them.
It
So
does whatever it wants to do.
yeah, it does what it wants to do. I apologize for that, but
I
yeah,
just wanted to check and make sure.
yeah, the very large Jessica goes over top of the diagonal satin stitches. So yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I must have gone a little bit wide on some of the Jessica at the bottom, and that's why it's, I don't know whether you can see it or not.
Mhm. Okay.
Like down here, I think it's a
Yeah.
little wider than it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So Ruth, if you will take a picture and email it to me, I will be able to examine it more closely, and I can put a circle or a line
Okay.
where things are a little bit off and maybe help you right the ship.
Okay, thank you.
But just send me a picture, and that way I can look at it real closely, more so than I can on the computer screen for
That
the
makes
Zoom
sense.
session. Yeah. And I'll put it in my paint program, and then I can draw lines on it and make circles and stuff like that and help you figure out how to get back on track with that.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay. So is there anything else that I can help anybody with today? Is everybody understanding everything?
So far.
Nope. So far.
I've been having fun with it.
Well,
It is
good.
challenging, but I've been having fun.
Yeah, it is challenging. And it occurred to me, I taught a class this weekend for this project. It was a 2-day class. And it occurred to me that there was one in the class who was working on red stitches on red canvas. And I've tried to do that, and it's somewhat difficult. You would think that, stitching with the same color thread on the same color canvas would be difficult regardless, and it's not. But when you're stitching, like for instance, with black thread on a black canvas, or navy blue thread on the dark blue canvas, or red on a red canvas, it becomes very difficult to see. And so, she did mention that it was somewhat of a challenge.
I do better when it's daylight outside. Once it gets dark at night, I have a really hard time seeing the blue on the blue. But if it's daylight, I can see it easier.
Yeah,
I
I experienced the same thing. And in the evening when I'm stitching, the room is probably too dark for me to be stitching in, but I don't have a good situation to have a stitching lamp. And so I just make do. I'm not stitching on black, obviously.
Right.
Because when I stitch on black, I have a light over this shoulder and a light over this shoulder and a light on the canvas. just so I can see it easier. I have found that putting a light in my lap does not help because it shines up through the holes in the canvas and has more of a tendency to interfere with my sight than help. What does help is to put like a light colored cloth in my lap when I'm stitching on a dark canvas. And so I know some people, when they're stitching on a really light colored canvas, would put like a dark piece of cloth, towel, or something like that in their lap. And that helps to provide a little bit of a contrasting background and make it easier to see the holes in the canvas.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And, if you don't have a dark piece, dark sweatshirt or, something, anything like that will work. You just need to, I actually have a wonderful little cloth that's white on one side and black on the other side that's in my stitching bag that I got as a favor at someplace. I'm not sure where I got it, but anyway, it's a real handy thing to have. But you might find that helpful to have something dark in your lap to make the holes a little more distinct.
It's a good idea.
you know, of course, the way I have my stitching set up, my lap is so far away from my canvas because I'm stitching with it more in front of me like this. So I don't know, maybe we need, you know, an extension thing with a clothespin on it to hang a cloth under it so that we can see the holes better. Maybe somebody needs to invent that. Okay, is there anything else that I can help you with? Is everybody okay so far? Okay. You know, I know that this session is probably going to be relatively short, but I will add the recording to the playlist. And I forgot to send a link to the playlist when I posted the lesson today. So I will make sure it gets posted with the lesson on Wednesday. Because Bobby, you're going to be wanting the padded detached buttonhole video. But since you're going to be gone for 4 days, I'm not going to worry about it. And for those of you who are not to that point, the padded detached buttonhole, it is a scary sounding thing and it's a scary looking thing, but it's really relatively easy once you get started and develop a rhythm. It works up pretty quickly and relatively easily. It's just, you know, you have to stop and think about it a little bit. I have to stop and think about it a little bit before I get started. And then once I get started, I go, oh yeah, I got this. And so I'm sure that y'all will experience the same thing. It's just, you know, a little bit awkward getting started and then you just go. So don't be worried about that. That's probably the most challenging thing in this design, aside from the Jessicas. But, you know, the rest of it, you know, the satin stitches, it's a lot of satin stitches. And, you know, satin stitches are just get your laying tool and your floss and put the ball game on and have an adult beverage and just enjoy it. Depends on the ball game. My ball games that I was watching on Saturday were not that enjoyable, but the rest of them, you know, I guess they were okay.
For me, the biggest challenge is don't let your mind wander. You know, I'm bad about when I stitch and get in a rhythm, my mind just kind of, and as sure as you do that, I look down and I'm on the wrong place or I've made a mistake and then I have to tear it out. I do a lot of that.
I do a lot of reverse stitching as well. And my husband can always tell because I'm flipping. I take it out with my needle. I don't ever cut it out. And so he can see the needle flipping like this and hear it. There's a definite sound that he can hear while I'm reverse stitching.
Oh, yeah. We do that a lot in my house.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly.
Well,
I
you know,
never have yet gotten that corner of the mostly crescents. I'm still stuck on one corner.
oh, really?
I got one corner right and I'm on the last one. And for some reason, I just cannot get it to go right. And I have done it about 3 times. So,
Well, do you want to send me a picture?
Hmm?
You want to send me a picture? Maybe I can help you.
I don't know how to send pictures, Debbie.
Oh, okay.
I'm old.
You're not that old.
Oh, trust me, I'm older than I've got a birthday coming up that starts with a new digit. I'm not happy.
Oh dear, yeah, those are kind of scary. Well, what I do when I need to I take a picture with my phone,
Yeah.
and then in the photos, do you have an iPhone or an Android?
iPhone.
iPhone, okay. You go to photos and you click on the picture. And then across the bottom, it has a little, let's See if I can look at it. Let me look at mine real quick so I tell you correctly. Click on a picture. Okay, at the bottom of the screen, there's a little square with an arrow pointing up. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you click on that. And what comes up next is you can send a message or airdrop or
I see.
mail. Okay. And then you just click on which one, if you want to text it or if you want to mail it, and your email will come up and walk you through it. It's real simple.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. It's
No,
stitching and technical support.
I just thought, I'll figure it out. I've got it. It took me 3 pieces of thread to, and now I've got 3 pieces of thread that I didn't unloop them because I knew I was going to be using them. So I've got 3 loops and 3 pieces of thread. That's so funny.
Okay. Well, if you want to get started with your corner and then send me a
I
picture
will.
of it, and I'll help you figure out how
Yeah.
to get back on track with it so you can
I'll-
progress.
I actually finished a neat sweet treat while I was frustrated with it. So
Oh, good. Well, that was a nice, simple palette cleanser.
it was very easy. Thank you for that one.
Well, you're welcome. Okay, well, is there anything else that I can help you with in regards to Gilded Cabochon, or if you're working on a different project of mine that I can help you with that? No?
Not at this point.
Okay. If you run into any problems, and this is not just for you that are on this Zoom session, but anyone who's viewing it later, if you run into problems, just take a picture and send it to me and I'll help you figure it out. And my email address is on the book. It's on the back page. Notice that Debbie and Debbie's Designs are spelled differently. So you have to make sure you get the spelling for both correct in order to get it to me. But then I will answer you and help you figure out how you can start making progress again. Or just email me if you have a question. I'll be happy to help you. Or you can just post a question in the group, the group that is set up for this particular workshop, because I want everybody to be successful and to be happy with their stitching and to have fun with it. So that's always
It's a
my
beautiful piece.
Oh, I love that blue topaz. That is so pretty.
It's really pretty. My
Yeah.
husband, every night when I finish stitching, he comes in and looks at it. He's my cheerleader.
Well, good. Yeah, my husband's cheerleading for me. He has always looked at since he's also the photographer and then also does the stitch video demonstrations, helps me with that. He gets to see a lot of stitching and has learned quite a bit about stitching.
Well, I have to say, Debbie, and I've taken a lot of classes with a lot of different instructors. This, in terms of documentation and graphing and everything that you've done to help us be successful, it couldn't be any better. I've never had one be this thorough.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Kudos to you.
Well, thank you.
Very good.
I spend a lot of time on it, and the positive feedback reassures me that it's time well spent.
It is, absolutely.
Good. Okay, well then, if there's nothing else, I will let y'all get on with your packing to go on your trip, or back to your stitching, or get ready to send me a picture so that I can help you figure it out.
Please,
Thank you.
it is
Thank
not
you.
your instructions. It's me, and you know that. Okay?
Well, that's okay, Annette. I would still be happy to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Well, I will see you all next week. I hope you have a good week, and let me know if you run into any problems, and I'll be glad to help you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.